Hi all! Andreas from thebalansinger.com here, and in today's video we're gonna talk about the 3 most important vocal exercises for your voice. But before we start, please click on the subscribe button below and also click on the bell right next to it if you want to be notified every time we put out a new video. Okay, so then let's give it a go. Over and over again, we asked about the most important exercises for your voice. So we finally decided to put out a video. Now, what took us so long? Well, it's a question that isn't exactly easy to answer, because what will help your voice in detail depends on your personal vocal tendency. However, we've discussed this at great length, went through a lot of lessons we taught in the past, and indeed, there are 3 groups of vocal exercises we use with nearly every student that we teach. These groups of exercises are so monumentally important for your vocal development that every singer should know about them. Notice that we didn't put them into any particular order. So number 1 is more important than number 3, or vice versa. But each of them tackles your voice from a different angle. So make sure you listen to all of them. Number 1, semi-occluded vocal tract exercises. Sounds fancy, doesn't it? All that it really means is that your mouth is partially closed while doing them. So if you look at the lip trill, for instance, your lips are closed, which means that also your vocal tract is closed. Scientists have found out that this kind of exercise, in most cases, creates great conditions for your vocal folds to vibrate freely, and usually also has a positive impact on your vocal sound. From the perspective of the singer, what semi-occluded vocal tract exercises do is making it easier to go through your passages. Thus from your chest, ah, into your mix, ah, into your head, ah, and back. That is especially helpful if your body isn't used to doing so yet and may fight the process on other exercises. In that way, they can help you to get used to what it feels like to go through the different zones of your voice so that your body stops resisting it. Another great effect of these exercises is that they keep you from singing with a too compressed sound like this, ah, and give you a feeling for what more balanced airflow feels like. So like this. There are many kinds of semi-occluded vocal sounds. The most common one is the lip trill. It goes like this. There's a slight variation of it, which is called the tongue trill, that goes like this. That one for many people is a lot harder to do because it also requires you to not tense anything in your tongue here, because if you do, it stops like this. 2 a little more extreme versions of the semi-occluded sounds are the closed down ooh, which goes like this, ooh, and the straw exercise, for which you need a straw. It goes like this. Ooh. Usually it makes most sense to do these exercises on glides, like I did them before, or on a long scale, like the octave and a half scale. Try out which of these examples works best for you. Number 2, unfinished sounds. Unfinished sounds are, as their name says, unfinished. This means you produce a vocal tone that you don't necessarily want when you sing it. So why do them then? Well, the answer is simple. Unfinished sounds make you find the vocal coordination you're looking for a lot faster than finished ones. What can take weeks, months, or years on a finished sound may be achieved in only minutes with an unfinished sound. Unfinished sounds can be used for many purposes, like finding your mix, making it easier to go through a vocal passage, or finding and isolating certain vocal qualities. The individual unfinished sounds can have very different effects on your voice and can take you into totally different directions. So what it is about for you is finding the one that suits your vocal needs. In the following, I'll show you the 3 most common ones. We'll start with the nasty nay sound. It goes like this. Nay, 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 nay. It helps you to thin out your vocal folds, connecting the bottom to the top of your voice, especially if you like to sing heavily on the low notes. It can also be used to find and isolate the bright, twangy quality in your voice. It's a high larynx exercise though, and thus if you already sing with a high larynx, might not be the best choice for you. The second example is a B sound with a lowered larynx. It sounds like this. This exercise keeps your larynx down and at the same time prevents your vocal folds from closing too harshly. Thus it's great for singers who like to sing with a high larynx and like to push the high notes. It can also be used to isolate the dark quality in your voice. The last example of an unfinished sound that I will address in this video is a sad mum. It goes like this. Mum, 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 mum. It helps you to close your vocal folds while keeping the muscles around your larynx from tightening your throat. The cry sound isn't perceived as extreme as the high or low larynx exercises we talked about before, thus can also be used for stylistic purposes. Sometimes you can hear residues of that sound in classical singers like Luciano Pavarotti or in modern singers like Bruno Mars or Rihanna. Now here comes one important bit of information about unfinished sounds. Once you have found the desired coordination, you want to work on getting the unfinished quality out of your voice again. So you want to gradually reduce it till you arrive at a normal finished sound. This means you want to go from something like nay, 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 gradually to something like nay, nay, nay. Number 3, vowel modification. Vowel modification means that you modify the vowel you're currently singing to another one in order to improve the function of your voice or find a certain sound color. The great thing about vowel modification is that it can only be applied in exercises, but can also be applied directly to the lyrics you're singing a song. One application of vowel modification is making the top note easier. So for instance, if now you're singing something like this, and can you feel, where you obviously strain a little bit on the F4, you can narrow the can down to can and get something like this. And can you feel? The vowel modification relieves the strain and makes the top note sound more balanced and easy. But vowel modification can not only be used to get your voice closer to vocal balance, it is also the key to getting the sound you want. So for instance, if you sing something like this, love of my life, where the top note is a little heavier, like Freddie did it on the recording, but want to go to something that's more like the live version of the song, where Freddie took the top note a lot heavier, one of the most important aspects is how to modify your vowel in a way that it's a little more open, brighter, and mouthy. So you get something like this. Love of my life. So you see that vowel modification is immensely important to get control over your voice. It can be useful at all stages of vocal development. And ultimately, being able to hear and reproduce small differences in vowel shape is what will open up all kinds of vocal possibilities for you. So what are you waiting for? Start practicing vowel modifications. So that's it for today. If you like more information on the content of this video, please go to our website www.thebalancedsinger.com or follow us on Instagram, Facebook or Twitter, where you can find us under @balancedsinger. Looking forward to see you next time. Bye.